Black farmers are an endangered species. We are a dying breed. My great-great-grandfather came out of slavery, purchased 60 acres of land on September 14th, 1867.
This land has been in our family for 156 years. When I was growing up, it was approximately 300 black farmers in the northern neck. Now, our family is the only full-time farming operation out of 300.
Nationwide, the number of black farmers has shrunk dramatically. In 1920, black farmers accounted for about 14% of all farmers in the U.S. Just over a century later, roughly 1.2% of farmers are black.
Statistics and numbers didn't fall like a rock because it rained on the white farmer side of the road and didn't rain on the black farmer side of the road. They fell because our white neighbors had tools in the toolbox that we didn't have.
The USDA has a long history of discrimination. Even recently in 2021, the USDA rejected direct loan applications for 42% of black farmers, but rejected just 9% of loans for white farmers. And according to an NPR analysis, in 2022, they granted direct loans to only 36% of black farmers, but in comparison, approved loans to 72% of white farmers. Loan refusal isn't the only discrimination black farmers have faced.
No matter the number of attempts that people have tried to put us out of business, equipment being shot up, buildings being burned up, my family has had the tenacity and the grace from God to stay in the farming business today. I'm proud to be able to continue the legacy as a fifth-generation black farmer. Arkansas River Rice Mill is the first black-owned rice mill. You very rarely hear of the successes. We ship rice to Africa for the USDA Food for Peace program. I teared up one day because my ancestors came as slaves. And now we're shipping rice back to Africa to help the ancestors of my ancestors. It's exciting that the kids are on this ride with me.
Black farmers are an endangered species. That's how one fifth-generation black farmer opened his statement, and it stopped me cold. Imagine being able to trace your family's legacy not just to slavery, but to liberation, to land, to ownership. And imagine watching all of that get stripped down to a stump through policy, prejudice, and plain old systemic theft. Let's get this straight. The decline of black farmers in America is not a mystery. It's not nature. It's not coincidence. It's history repeating. So guys, we give all the credit to the originators and stitches of this video you'll be seeing, and we hope to be back for more commentary after the end of the video.
Being a minority farmer, having land, and trying to get things done, not only in agribusiness, but just in general, it has always been difficult for us. My great-grandfather, who acquired all of these tracts of land, he was a bootlegger, and in order to buy most of our tracts, he literally had to ask a white man to, fill out the paperwork for him.
Yeah, I'm already blessed, yeah, I'm already blessed and free. Yeah, I'm already blessed, yeah, I'm already blessed and free.
My grandfather began with just a small piece, and his family in the area had small pieces as well. He was making money on the side, kind of like a side hustle of moonshining. So he had ample money to be able to buy each family member out. He bought all their little farms, combined them all, and then saved his money and went for another piece of land. Prejudice back in that day would not allow him. He started fussing and they kicked him out. They made him leave, and he had a guy who was helping him on the farm who's still alive today, believe it or not. And he'd ask him, hey, will you go and buy this farm for me? And he said, the check's good, we're gonna close it today, put it in Lester Ballew's name. The lawyers, they blew up, and they basically set up an ironclad trust. My grandfather put everything in a trust. It's set up so that we manage the property up until our death, basically. And our beneficiaries will take over, but they're not allowed to sell the property until 20 years past the last brother's death.
Welcome back, guys. In 1920, black farmers made up 14% of all farmers in the United States. Today, just 1.2%. That's not a gentle decline. That's an engineered extinction. And no, this wasn't about bad weather on the black side of the road. This was about bad policy, bad faith, and a USDA that functioned more like a bank built to exclude. In 2021, 42% of black farmers had their federal loan applications denied. Only 9% of white farmers got denied. You mean to tell me that just bad luck? Nah, that's math with bias. One farmer put it plainly, our white neighbors had tools in a toolbox that we didn't. And sometimes those tools weren't metaphorical. Burned bands, shut up tractors, sabotaged fields. When the law doesn't protect you and the banks don't trust you, what's left? Generations of black families worked land they couldn't own in their name. In fact, in some cases, they had to ask a white man to sign the paperwork just to buy land with their own money. Imagine having land, but no legal access to it. A trust in your name, but the court won't honor it unless a white intermediary co-signs it. That's not property ownership, that's legalized limbo. This isn't just about farming, it's about legacy, stability, family. The story of the black farmer is the story of what this country could have been if the rules were actually fair. Because land ownership is freedom, it's independence, it's wealth passed down. And when you strip that from a people, you strip away their future. These aren't just fields, these are receipts. Receipts of survival, receipts of labor, receipts of black excellence that the textbooks forgot. One farmer shared how his grandfather built an entire land empire by bootlegging. Moonshining was his side hustle because the system didn't allow him to get loans like everyone else. So he used his cash to buy his neighbors small plots one by one. But when he went to buy a large tract from a white seller, he was kicked out of the room. He had to send a white farmhand in his place to close the deal. That white man said, "The check's good." And the land went into the black family's hands, but only after they played the game sideways. You want to talk about resilience? That's black strategy, black innovation, survival in a system that was never built for us. And then, the full circle moment. One black farmer now runs the first black-owned rice mill in Arkansas. He ships rice to Africa through the USDA's Food for Peace program. Let that sit with you. His ancestors were shipped to America in chains. Now he ships rice back to Africa, feeding the descendants of those same communities. That's legacy, that's spiritual restitution, that's poetic justice with a grain of rice. Let's be real. You have probably heard more about Yellowstone ranchers than you have about black farmers who have been working the same soil for 150 years. Why? Because stories of black land ownership are a threat to the myth of black dependency. We are supposed to be the labor, not the landowners. The sharecroppers, not the stakeholders. And yet, here we are, with receipts dating back to 1867. still working, still growing, still feeding the nation, even when the nation forgot us. Here's the part the mainstream avoids. Land is power. That's why it's been so violently policed, denied, and stolen from black folks since day one. Because when you own land, you control your food, your water, your space, your peace. Black farmers represent what happens when black people own something that no one gentrify out of from under them. And that to this country has always been dangerous. To the originators and stitches of this video, thank you. You are preserving history in real time. To the black farmers still holding on, this commentary is for you. To those who lost land through theft, violence, red tape, and silence, you are not forgotten. And to everyone watching, legacy isn't just inherited, it's protected. Sometimes with tractors, sometimes with trusts, sometimes with bootlegger, moonshine, and a whole lot of prayer. But always, always with love. At Echo Room Vibes, we don't just spill tea, we plant seeds. So wherever you are today, show love to your ancestors, to your people, to the land beneath you. And if you know a black farmer, thank them, buy from them, protect their legacy like it's your own, because one day it might be. Peace and nourishment, guys. Stay grounded, stay woke, and stay rooted. From Echo Room Vibes, peace out.